Your inner conversations are either condemning you or justifying you. They might be repelling your good or attracting your good. And in this video today, I want to look at your inner conversations, and I want to support you today to get the right inner conversations going so that you start to attract instead of chase. You start to justify the world you want to live in rather than being in the receivership of things you don't want and therefore you condemn. But before I get going, I'm Tanya Pluckrose from Rich Results Mindset, and I'm all about helping you master your mind so you can master your life. And if any of my content is blessing you, healing you, inspiring you, or motivating you, then please consider sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. All right, let's get going. So this morning I was doing a teaching with my clients on the power of awareness, and I was talking about inner conversations, which is the chapter in this particular publication at the back called Awakened Imagination. In this is a beautiful chapter on the coin of heaven, which has everything to do with inner conversations. And I love how the author makes a suggestion, actually a command, to help you and me stay in a certain state, a state of being. And he suggests that we come up with one or two sentences that help us switch into that state of being. And so it's important that you have these certain statements that are go-tos, especially when the outside world or your five senses are hijacking you and you are being bombarded with things that you do not want in your precious life. So it's so important you have some statements to kind of shift you from a state of being you don't want to be to being in a state of empowerment, of power, of confidence, of all-knowing. And so it's important, the quickest way to get there is to come up with one or two statements that help you shift, help you elevate, help you rise when the tough gets going. So these inner statements, the ones that Neville writes in his book, well, I've got to be honest, they're kind of boring. They don't really shift me in any way at all. I've had to come up with my own inner statements to support me to have that shift. I can feel it in every cell of my body. And so it's important that you too come up with one or two statements that help you move really from the basement of a house to the penthouse. Okay, so what are those statements? Well, this morning I was trying to help my clients with these various statements, and many of them find it very difficult to come up with one or two statements. And so the quickest way to find these statements is to go and ask others. Because often our inner critic is so cruel and so disempowering with us that it's very hard to override the inner critic when this inner critic has ruled the roost for a very long time. So it's most helpful if you actually ask someone how they perceive you, how they perceive me. And so I was able to say to my client today, because he was struggling to come up with one or two sentences, and I said, oh, well, let me go on a rampage for you about how I see you. And this guy is a phenomenal web designer. He's a creative genius. I mean, he's an unconscious competent that just hasn't caught up with his magnificence. So I went on a rampage and I came up with some delicious and divine statements on his behalf. And he loved them. And I told him, tell you what, why don't you borrow my belief in you until you can catch up with your own magnificence. And so if you're stumbling, go and ask someone else, and then take those statements and keep repeating them over and over again. You may even want to say, and I said this to my client, well, Tanya says that I am a creative genius, and Tanya told me that I am a very innovative. that I have an incredible work ethic. And so suddenly I could see the shift happen in him. And you too will have the shift if you need to borrow the belief from others and until you can believe those statements yourself. So your inner conversations, may I remind you, are creating your destiny. They're creating your future. And so the quickest way to ensure that your future is going to be magnificent is to start to watch your inner conversations. And to watch your inner conversations, that's easy. Let me tell you, just come up with 1 or 2 sentences that support you to help elevate you, that support you to create this new belief in yourself. Really, these statements are of you, with you, of your wishes, being in the state of your wishes fulfilled. So go and bug a few people. I give you permission. Go and bug a few people and get their perception of how they see you. Take those statements, say them over and over again, and keep saying, because such and such says this of me, and keep saying them. And I'm going to tell you, in a very short period of time, you're going to wake up and you too are going to believe those statements. And when you do this, you are going to master your mind. And when you master your mind, you, my loves, you master your life, your precious life. So if any of this has resonated with you, then please leave your comments below. Actually, I'd love to hear what are some great statements you've come up about yourself. Please share them in the comments, because even if you are maybe shy doing it, remember there may be someone out there that wants to actually borrow some of your statements and, well, take them as their own. All right, I'll be back. Bye.